it's another family food fight. It beloved and my favorite local supermarket chain, Market Basket, over a decade after the drama last time at the company. It's back in turmoil. About a month ago, the company's board placed its popular CEO, Arthur T. DeMoulis, on leave, citing oversight concerns and other disputed succession plans. The board alleges that DeMoulis has been planning a work stoppage to disrupt the business. The board has also suspended a number of top-level executives as well, also claiming they're practicing disruptive behaviors. We've invited Market Basket's board to join us on the show. They said they'll either send a statement or consider it. But joining us now at the BPL desk are two of those suspended top executives. Joe Schmidt, who we met more than a decade ago, is Director of Operations for Market Basket. He's worked at the company for, is it 39 years? How many years?
That's it. That's correct.
39 years, but you ain't got nothing next to this guy. Joining him is Paul Quigley, a district supervisor, has been at Market Basket for a mere 44 years.
That's correct.
Paul and Joe, we're thrilled to have you. Thanks so much for your time. We really
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
very
Thanks for
much for coming. So before we get to what this big brouhaha is all about, surely you were a child laborer when you began at Market Basket 39 years ago. How'd that happen for you?
Yeah, I was hired in the Danvers location at the age of 14, and my first job with my clip-on tie at the time, and started bagging groceries, and immediately it was infectious, and it was something that I wanted to continue to do, and I've been fortunate to learn from a lot of people throughout my years working there, and am a product of the system and the great leadership of Mr. T.A. DeMoulis and now Mr. Arthur T. DeMoulis.
And you have been at one company your whole professional career.
That's right.
And so have you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how did it start for you?
I started in Haverhill back in 1981, working in downtown Haverhill in the Central Plaza store. Started as a bagger. Got very interested in the company. Things were starting to grow, and was asked to be involved in a lot of new store openings as a youngster, and it just it became contagious. Went to college. DeMoulis Supermarkets helped with some of our tuition.
Wow.
Which was nice at the time, and
Yeah.
but it was cheap.
44 years and 39 years is
Which
unbelievable.
makes this all the more painful, I would imagine, this whole mess.
Yeah, I am fairly clear as to why the board says they suspended the CEO. I get that. I'm not agreeing with it. I don't know enough to agree or disagree. Why were you suspended, though? I'm confused about both of your suspensions. Why were you suspended, Joe, first?
Sure. So there's an allegation that I was somehow involved in some type of work stoppage because of the board having a disagreement with Mr. DeMoulis, which is just frankly not true. The real story is that there are three sisters that Arthur has. There's Frances, Karen, and Glorianne, and they want control of the company. There's a lot of
They were with him 11 years ago against the cousins,
That's
correct?
right. That's
and they
right.
flipped, essentially.
That's correct.
But go ahead, yeah.
And so there's a lot of jealousy with them and thinking that they should have more notoriety in the company. But it also comes down to money. They want more money from the company. And apparently the $40 million after taxes that they're getting on an annual basis is not enough. So there's a dispute there between the sisters and Mr. DeMoulis.
My understanding is that another reason you allegedly were disruptive is because you and a colleague had the audacity, am I not right, to visit some retiring store managers?
Yeah,
is that not true?
That's a great point, yes. Myself and Tom Gordon, who's a close associate that works with Paul and myself, went to say goodbye to two senior store managers.
Which is a tradition at Market Basket, right?
There's no question about it. As leaders in the company, it's our responsibility to wish people well that have dedicated their lives to the organization, and that's what we did. We went to say goodbye, wish them well, shake their hand, and off we went.
Which they say violates the fact that you weren't supposed to be in contact with people in the stores and that sort of thing.
Well, of course they're going to say that.
So, and why are you suspended?
I was suspended for what they call disruptive behavior, which in the Market Basket culture, I guess, is asking a question.
What'd you ask that was so disruptive?
We were 4 weeks into Mr. DeMoulis being dismissed, and I was looking for answers to my questions, which is, what's the end game here? What are we doing? When's the boss coming back? Where's the investigation that you guys talked about? There was never any talk of any type of walkout or work stoppage, and it was just...
So you never heard from Arthur T. DeMoulis anything about a planned work stoppage? You guys are top executives, both of you, nothing. Is that correct?
Never.
Okay.
Okay, really, Market Basket should be giving Jim Browdy some kind of pay because he's like a nonstop advertisement for a Market
Well,
Basket.
I'm a
where he
big
goes-
fan. It's a
he
great
goes every
store, great
morning at
employees.
7
They're
o'clock.
great.
It is a great store. I don't have one close to me, but I do stop at the one by the bridge
Okay.
sometimes. And my friends, my family in Fall River, they all go to the one at the shopping mall in Fall River. Everybody's a big Market Basket fan. And I remember when this happened years ago, when I was still a reporter at the Herald, going over and talking to people at Market Basket, talking to employees. It was unusually happy place. It became a story all across the country, right? Because workers went out and supported the guy that ran the company.
Right.
It almost never happens, and there was a different feel about it. So you wonder why, with the great success of Market Basket, the emotional feelings people have for RDT, don't these sisters realize that not just anybody can create this kind of environment? Are they that unself-aware or whatever it is?
I think they realize it, which is why they needed to come up with a mechanism to do it. You know, if they just outright fired him, they know that they would have had that reaction that happened a long time ago. So they had to come up with a way to do it. Now, Frances DeMullers, her son Michael Kettenbach, who is the deli director, they want him to run the company essentially. So by knocking Mr. DeMullers and his team out, that opens the gateway for that to happen.
Son, including his kids. When you say his team, that includes his kids, right?
Yeah, so there's a succession issue here in terms of the board asking
It's like
for
the
a
TV show.
That's right, asking for a succession plan. And Mr. DeMullers recommended that Madeline, his daughter, and TA, his son, that work in the company, that they would be viable candidates. Now, the board has flipped that to say that he said that those are the only two that should take over. He never said that. So the board of directors, Jay Hatchigan, who is the chairman of the board, he's actually with Gunderson Detmer here in Boston, a law firm. He's the chair, and he's the person that's been responsible to kind of institute this work stop, this stoppage in terms of stopping us from working.
You know, Joe, we met you a little more than a decade ago. I'm going to play a little sound in a minute. And I'll say what I said to you then now. I've never, I was a former union president. I never encountered a workforce that was this loyal
Exactly.
to this CEO as this place, nor executives. And the notion that executives were willing to walk out. Here is young Joe Schmidt. You were a little boy then on Greater Boston in 2015. He was fired during the 2014 Market Basket protest. Remember, that's essentially where most of us who are Market Basket fans were not only shopping elsewhere at the suggestion of the leaders, but also posting our receipts from other
Yes, from
stores on
Star
the
Market or
windows
whatever.
at Market Basket. Joe was then rehired after Arthur T's return. At the time, he had been with Market Basket for 27 years. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
There was really no hesitation. We knew that this is what had to happen. And the company has given everything to us and everybody that's worked with there. It's really been an experience, and I've certainly learned a tremendous amount of being a part of the company and benefited from the culture. So when it came time to protect it, that's what we did.
So flesh that out a little bit. None of us in the press have ever met Mr. DeMullers because he doesn't do interviews, which is bad for us, but probably to his credit. I assume it means he's not an egomaniac like a lot of other CEOs are. Why are people like you and so many of the workers with whom I speak when I go to the Somerville store, why are they so loyal to this guy?
Because he believes in the Market Basket culture. He believes in the associates. He believes in taking care of customers. He believes in the business partners that help support the organization, and ultimately also believes in supporting the shareholders of the company. And in that order, not shareholders first. You know, if you take care of the customers, you take care of the associates, and you take care of the business partners, everybody benefits from that. And he wants to continue to grow the company because he understands not only the current culture and what it stands for, but the opportunity to grow that culture and move into other areas to bring something good to other communities.
How does he deal with managers like you guys, high-level managers? What's his relationship with like? How does he handle people like you?
We talk about this frequently. Mr. DeMullers always likes to consider our company to be on a bar and that we all move up together. And you know, when one of those bars starts to go up too high, people fall off. And at this point, myself, Joe, and my colleagues, Tom Gordon, Mr. DeMullers, we've all fallen off this bar because somebody's trying to push, and they're trying to push us out. We've worked hard with this company for multiple decades, building this company, and over some spite and greed and pettiness, they've taken us and kind of pushed us out so that they can implant Michael Kettenbach, the son of Francine, to be the next CEO.
Don't you worry that you're digging a deeper hole for yourselves? I mean, Marjorie asked you, you've both spent your whole careers. It's pretty obvious how deeply you care about this job, which obviously is more than a job to the two of you. You're putting yourselves even more at risk, one might argue, I would argue, by being honestly critical of the people who are making decisions. Do you worry about your future, Paul?
I worry about my future without Arthur T. DeMullers running DeMuller Supermarkets. Without him, the future wouldn't be very good.
Do you know how odd this sounds? By the way, I hope you guys can appreciate how unusual it is
Yes.
to hear this kind of thing. Do you worry about what's going to happen if you're suspended now, I think with pay, at least now?
Currently.
So what happens when they say next week, we heard you on the radio, we heard your statements on other shows, you're canned, you're done?
You know, it would hurt, but I'll tell you something. What's more important is doing the right thing. And I said that 11 years ago, and I mean it today, because the right person running the company is Mr. DeMullers, because it not only protects the community, the market basket culture, it's something worth standing up for. If you can't stand up for something good in your life, then what's the purpose of life? Yes, you can make money, but money isn't what it's all about. It's about doing the right thing and standing up for people that you believe in. And I believe in Mr. DeMullers and his leadership style and the respect that he has and everything he stands for. And that's why I'm doing it.
Wow.
We're talking to two suspended with pay executives, Joe Schmidt and Paul Quigley.
We need more people doing the right thing around here. I think we don't have enough people doing the right thing. But
Well said.
I just wanted to ask you how Market Basket does it, because Jim, who's your biggest fan there,
I'm a pretty
will
big
come in
shopper
and tell
there,
me
yes,
how
I
much
am.
he managed to get pig's fly bread that was like 75 cents or some ridiculous. It wasn't that; it was more than that. But that's very expensive if you buy pig's fly bread. It's really good bread, or other things elsewhere that are so much more money. You know, you get Star Market, you get all these other markets, Stop and Shop, all these places. How is it that Market Basket manages to keep prices low that are so much more expensive elsewhere?
By the way, the Globe just did a survey confirming this in the last couple of days, that of, I think, 4 or 5 local supermarkets,
And at the
they were
same
the
time,
lowest.
and at the same time, Mr. DeMullers, from what I understand, has paid people good wages, enabled people to have good benefits. So he's done all the right things by his workers, and yet he can charge those prices.
Well, you make that work by a simple philosophy of you take care of your people. And we're not just talking about the employees, we're talking about the customers, we're talking about our vendors. I mean, it's important that everybody, again, moves up that bar together.
Yeah.
And Mr. D is always cognizant of the cost of goods. You take the recent spike in prices in eggs.
Yes.
He went out of his way to make sure that, hey, we got to keep that price down for our customers. And he genuinely cares about the stakeholders, who are all of us.
Why does
How
he?
did
Why
he-
does he? But I don't mean that in the weird way it sounds. A lot of CEOs who are very decent people, shareholders first, selves second, and they want to do well by their employees if they can. Why is the culture, as you've said a few times, why does he believe in this
It builds
method?
loyalty. It builds loyalty in our brand. When you know that you can walk into a market basket and you're going to get a fair price, that builds loyalty. People keep coming back. And that's why the company keeps continuing to grow. More customers, more people being taken care of.
What's the morale like among the staff when they know this, even if they don't know all the details, Joe, about all that's going on and the turmoil, who knows what's going to happen with DeMullers, who knows what's going to happen to you, Gordon, all these other people?
Yeah, I think everybody is generally aware of what's going on, and people are fearful, disappointed, not happy. And overnight it's changed the culture. You know, Jay Hatchigan, the chairman of the board, says that it's a vibrant culture. Well, and it continues, and that's not true. You know, people are very upset, disappointed, because they understand it's not just about Mr. DeMullers or Mr. Gordon or Mr. Schmidt or Mr. Quigley or the other individuals, Madeline TA or Mr. DeMullers. It's about the entire culture of the company that's at stake here. And so they're concerned about the future of that culture and the company.
So since this whole thing has been so high profile, I'd argue since 2014, since the time you were fired. And,
You're a Harvard Business
the
School
whole
story,
crisis.
remember? They do a case study of Harvard.
But that's
Market
exactly
Basket.
what I was going to ask. Why do you think that there are not other businesses that don't take this kind of cultural approach, that say, forget that's a humane way to run a business. Equally importantly, it's wildly profitable. You have, what, 90 stores now. You
That's
were
right.
rated number 2 in some survey a couple of weeks ago of all chains in the country. Why do you think more people haven't embraced this? Starting with you, Joe, and then Paul.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Number 2 in the nation from the Dunnhumby survey.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the Northeast. You're talking about in the nation,
that.
and there's a reason for that. And the answer to that question is because you have people that become greedy, and that becomes their primary motivator mechanism. The Wall Street mentality of just steamroll people, make the business profitable, fill your pockets, and move on. You know, this is a little bit different. This is more about run a responsible business, and when you do that and you take care of people, the people will take care of the business.
You know, Paul, one of the things that's frustrating to me, I mean this sincerely, is I've been waiting for marching orders, and I think a lot of market basket shoppers are too. Last time we got them, like when I was there yesterday, whenever I was there yesterday, I think, I wasn't even sure if that was the right thing to do because it's helping the business under leadership that I don't support. So what should loyal customers be doing if they support Arthur T. Demoulas and people like you?
It's a good question. We
Voice their opinion.
we are very concerned about the future of this organization. And Joe's exactly right. Get the word out there that, hey, this company's in jeopardy. There's going to be some serious issues down the road. There's serious issues now. And we need to get back on course.
Should I be shopping there? You're hesitating. I mean, I assume people who are watching on YouTube or here can see your hesitation. Obviously, you're torn, right?
That's your own decision, you know, and customers make decisions of what businesses they want to do business with.
You know, Olivia, on YouTube, Paul Quigley says you were this person's store manager. He's a stand-up guy. I can't believe the company is doing this to him, and so many others. That's to Olivia on YouTube. Maybe you remember Olivia on YouTube.
You
But
should
know,
read this.
I
Wait,
just-
there's another great thing is they
Yeah.
keep prices low by cornering the market on those brown and beige floor tiles. Been the same since the 1970s. Wasn't Zoe, our coworker, wasn't she a cashier when she was a kid at Market Basket? Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I remember years ago when there was a fire at a place called Malden Mills, and Aaron Fernstein was the CEO, and all across the country, people were shocked that he kept people on the payroll over Christmas, helped them until they could get back on. It became a Harvard Business School story. So I think it says something about our attitudes, capitalism in America, that it's the rare CEO that is a RDT or is the late Mr. Feuerstein, is that how you pronounce his name? Feuerstein, that do this. Because most people, I remember my father saying this to me a million years ago, they always screw you in the end. And generally, that's what happens to people. They get screwed in the end. So it says something about the ability or the interest in people's doing the right thing by the workers. It's rare.
Yeah, and when it is rare, and you're absolutely right about that, that's why people should stand up for it, because it's the right thing. It makes you feel good, you know?
Yeah.
The other way of doing things, like throwing people out, is just, it's below board, and it just doesn't feel good, you know? So when everybody's head hits the pillow at the end of the night, you hope that it feels good. It's got to feel good for me, even though my circumstance, I'm sure for Mr. Quigley here, who, by the way, is one of the instrumental people in growing the entire North Shore personnel-wise, and the dedication of this man to the company is second to none. And, you know, I'm proud to be here with this man.
Do you guys at least kick your dog when you go home? I mean, you can't be this can't be real. I mean, in any case, so what's the outcome here? I mean, how many weeks has this been since Demoulas was suspended? 6 weeks,
So
4 weeks?
tomorrow makes 8 weeks.
8 weeks. So
Yeah.
what happens?
Well,
Is this going to be a standoff for months and months and months? What happens?
We're not sure how the story is going to be finished here in the last chapter of the book, but we intend to be back, doing what we love to do, taking care of Market Basket and its culture, and we'll see what happens. But you know, again, I think what we're doing here is doing right by the customers and the associates of the company.
Are you as optimistic as your buddy here?
I am.
Why?
And, why? You know, this board needs to realize, and the Sisters of Arthur T. Demoulas need to realize the collateral damage that they are causing amongst the employees, amongst the customer base, who are also very upset about what's going on. And like you're reading emails, I mean, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
People are contacting us from all areas of the company saying, this isn't right. What do we do?
Can I just read Zoe?
Zoe,
you
yes.
read it. You have it.
I worked in
Zoe is our coworker, a fellow producer. Just
I
wrote
worked
it.
in multiple departments of Store 49, Raleigh, and high school pre-2014 cashier, deli, point of sales. The job taught me a lot about life, genuinely keep those experiences. with me today. And that seems to be what Arthur T is rare, as we said. He's a rare person. So the idea that the sisters have that they can just get rid of him and keep that, what made it unique, is baloney. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, there's no question. In fact, one of the sisters made the comment that, "Oh, don't worry, the place runs on autopilot."
Yeah.
And it certainly doesn't. So,
Have any of these sisters run a business?
no, they're all non-working shareholders that
Okay.
have done
Yeah.
pretty well for themselves.
Yeah, well,
I'd get a food taster if I were you, Joe, let me tell you.
Yeah.
In any case, we want to repeat, we have invited the board, any representative that wants to come to give the other side of the story. We're welcome to hear it, but in the interim, good luck to you guys and the whole
Thank you.
operation, and we really appreciate your time, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for coming
Thanks so
in.
much. Thank you.